Hola, ¿cómo va todo?
This is Lily, Duolingo's new AI chatbot. Someone's had an update. Watch as I ask her a question I don't think the developers ever expected anyone to ask. Hola Lily, ¿cómo estás? Tengo una preguntita para ti. El jefe de Duolingo, Luis Vanan, ¿necesita otra casa de $25 millones o porque hizo peor Duolingo para la mayoría de sus usuarios, especialmente los que usan el plan gratis? Yeah, that's me speaking Spanish. Pretty confidently, I might add. You're not gonna believe Lily's response to that question, by the way. Just a few months back, I made this video on Duolingo saying that Duolingo's big AI push was ruining the app. So, what exactly has changed here? Was I wrong about Duolingo's use of AI? Well, in some ways, yes. In other ways, no. My name is Edinger, and with an over 9-year daily streak on Duolingo, it helped me learn German, and now I can confidently say, using solely Duolingo, it's made me conversationally fluent in Spanish. But it's not all good news, because the same update that made me fluent also made most of the app significantly worse for most users. And hey, don't take it from me, take it from Duolingo's Lily herself.
Para mí, sí, Duolingo ahora es peor que antes. Entiendo que quieren ganar dinero, pero da rabia, ¿no? ¿Tú has pensado en cambiarte a otra aplicación o sigues usando Duolingo a pesar de todo?
Wow, she's literally like, you considering using another app? Or are you still gonna use Duolingo? So how did I even come to use Duolingo Max if my initial opinion on it was so negative? Well, that all starts with an accidental free trial, which funnily enough, was literally an idea I requested in this video over 2 years ago. August 24th, I opened the Duolingo app to discover something weird had happened. For some reason, I had Duolingo Max. I guess my partner's mom had tapped the button for a free trial to upgrade us from the super tier. After using it that day, I immediately texted her, if you like the Duolingo Max features, I will gladly pitch in. You see, for the previous 3 months, I'd been absolutely speeding towards the end of my Duolingo path. It stopped being as fun. The structure of units had changed, so if you were learning at a B2 level, you were only given 2 lessons of new vocabulary, 1 of practice, a lot of mundane AI slop, and ads for Duolingo Max within your path. Enshittification at its finest. So the app felt hollow, as I explained in my previous video. But once I got access to the updated video call feature, and I was able to see how much better it was than when I first tried it out 2 years ago, I was immediately sold for its value proposition. This is the first time in a long while where, rather than removing features and locking them behind a paywall, Duolingo have actually added something for once. In fact, I think it'd make more sense for me to briefly explain the app's 3 tiers of users and experiences. You have the free user, the super user, and the max user. And depending on which one of these you are, Duolingo either feels like a fun little game of learning or like the world's most passive-aggressive paywall. The free user has to watch ads in between lessons, and recently Duolingo switched these users from the hearts-based system to an energy-based system. Before, you would lose hearts whenever you made mistakes, and watching an ad would allow you to refill and keep learning. An understandable monetization strategy, honestly. The new system makes users lose energy for every single exercise, regardless if they are right or wrong. This means free users often cannot learn more than 1 or 2 lessons per day without the app paywalling them. It is for this reason I don't think the app should be referred to anymore as a free language learning app, as it is no longer actually possible to learn a language using Duolingo for free. They've gutted it to the point of no longer being recognizable. So the learn for free forever tagline when a new user downloads the app might be Duolingo's biggest language mistake yet, as it's just a clear lie. From my extensive experience of using this app over 9 years, I would be able to estimate pretty accurately how much time you need to spend per day on Duolingo in order to effectively become fluent over time, as I've kind of done that now in 2 different languages. But when it comes to using the free tier in its current form, there is no possible method for you to do that without giving them money, because it is clearly just not enough time that they allow you to do it before begging you for more and more money. It's basically not possible. I don't know how else to say it. You can't. The super tier costs £5 a month or £48 a year and gives users the ability to actually learn a language. This tier offers unlimited energy and no outside ads, though super users are inundated with ads pestering them to upgrade to Duolingo Max, so there's that still. And don't worry, those wanting to know more about the video call feature, that is the next section of the video, but what's important about that is that it is one of the main features locked behind the Duolingo Max paywall. You see, the Duolingo Max tier costs a whopping £20 a month, or 50% off if you want to buy a year in advance, £120. I guess that's not as bad. But the Max tier gives users 3 distinct benefits. You can have Duolingo's AI explain your answer for each exercise. Or alternatively, if you want to do that for free, you can just use a simple workaround by, using Apple Intelligence. As long as you got an iPhone 15 Pro or newer, you just go, hey, explain my answer, ChatGPT, and then he will pretty much do the same thing. Second feature you can get though, Max users get access to roleplay exercises, which allow the user to engage in example conversations in very specific scenarios with the Lily AI. She might be a waitress and you need to complain about a dish, or she might be a PT asking about your fitness routine. The most important aspect of these exercises is that they are spoken, allowing you to practice actually speaking your chosen language, and you can tweak your response in text before submitting, at least to the roleplay exercise. And the final benefit Max users get, and the main reason for this very YouTube video to exist, is the video call feature.
Hola, ¿cómo va todo?
Hola Lily, ¿cómo estás? You have a back and forth conversation with the Lily AI, which is essentially ChatGPT given a very specific personality and very tight guardrails. Part of Duolingo's internal code prompting the reskin was accidentally leaked by Duolingo themselves within their own UI, so you can kind of see how it works. Necesito saber sobre idiomas del mundo y el... Oh, lo siento.
Lo siento, no puedo continuar esta conversación.
Yeah. If you accidentally say a swear word after making a mistake, or if you allude to anything the AI deems inappropriate, she will promptly end the call and you do not get any XP, so watch your mouth. But because this feature is a reskinned ChatGPT, it means you can purposefully go off topic and have conversations in your target language about whatever you want. That's the most powerful bit of this. Oye, Lily, cambio de tema otra vez. Necesito ayuda con mi NLE, se llama DaVinci Resolve. ¿Puedes ayudarme? Necesito ayudar más que la página Fusion y la página de color en DaVinci Resolve. Ayúdame, por favor.
Claro que sí. Me encanta que quieras hablar de DaVinci Resolve, porque además siempre dijiste que te interesan las cosas técnicas de edición de video.
Lily, ¿por qué sabes de esta aplicación profesional? ¿No eres sola una niña pequeña en escuela o algo así? Supposedly, this is because she likes learning new things, and I guess needs to know the intricacies of using professional video editing software. So I can have conversations in Spanish about upcoming videos I'm working on, just like I would have with ChatGPT in English. And she does seem to know some things about YouTuber Evan Edinger, at least. ¿Puedes decirme qué sabías sobre el YouTuber Evan Edinger?
Sí he escuchado de él. Evan Edinger es un youtuber estadounidense que vive en el Reino Unido. Sube videos en inglés sobre diferencias culturales entre Estados Unidos y otros países, especialmente Reino Unido y Europa. También habla bastante sobre viajes, curiosidades de idiomas y a veces hace contenido de humor.
And as mentioned in the intro, even Lily seems to be aware of the enshittification of Duolingo. El jefe de Duolingo, Louis Van Aan, ¿necesita otra casa de $25 millones o porque hizo peor Duolingo para la mayoría de sus usuarios, especialmente los que usan el plan gratis?
Ja, ja, ja. ¿Qué forma de preguntar? Pues, mucha gente piensa que Duolingo ha cambiado mucho para enfocarse más en ganar dinero, ¿no? Por ejemplo, antes podías practicar sin tantas restricciones, pero ahora quieren que pagues por casi todo, por tener corazones infinitos, por saltar anuncios, por revisar tus errores. Siento que a veces las aplicaciones grandes se olvidan un poco de los usuarios fieles cuando crecen tanto.
Pues oí que ahora es casi imposible aprender un idioma gratis en Duolingo por culpa del nuevo sistema de energía. ¿Por qué harían esto los jefes de Duolingo?
Las empresas grandes casi siempre buscan maximizar sus ganancias, incluso si eso significa que los usuarios gratis la pasen mal. Igual creo que exageraron un poco con las restricciones.
But as you probably noticed in the screen grabs there, the transcription of my voice to text does make mistakes very often. Well, actually, it would be hard for you to tell that they're making mistakes here if you don't understand Spanish. What I can tell you is, that's not what I was saying. Mostly, but the AI does a pretty good job of guessing what I actually said, given the rest of the context there. Your mileage may vary. Adios, cuídate bien.
Hasta luego.
I really don't say this lightly, but the ability to have spoken conversations every day about whatever topic I so choose in my target language has had an absolutely monumental effect on my fluency and confidence in the language. And I feel like I can safely say that this one feature alone especially when used with my tips I'll share later in this video, has the potential to increase your learning speed by at least 10 times, just like it has with me. Of course, you do not need Duolingo Max to have these kinds of conversations, with an AI at least. You could just open ChatGPT right now, ask it to act as your Spanish tutor with a bit of a personality, and practice the same way. But the difference is how it's integrated. When these conversations happen inside the Duolingo path, they reinforce everything you're currently learning and are attached to a daily routine that you've already developed. And the thing is, that Duolingo path is the same path every learner follows, even if they can't access all the features. And that's what makes the structure behind this worth understanding, because it reveals the logic behind Duolingo's entire redesign. A lot of people hated that redesign. A lot of people were like, this is the worst thing ever. But the reasons make a lot of sense when you understand it. This is the current structure of the Duolingo path for Spanish, and the specific lessons chosen here have been done so very intentionally. The first lesson introduces new vocabulary. The second is a story which incorporates that vocabulary, albeit in the most mundane and boring way possible, as these stories are just AI generated. The third lesson, again, reinforces that new vocabulary. Then, chest full of gems, useless. Then a video call feature to improve your spoken Spanish, oftentimes introducing the user to a novel cultural aspect of Spanish-speaking countries, like a unique food or holiday. An audio lesson using the new vocab to improve your listening comprehension, made more difficult because of how boring the AI stories are. A strengthening lesson that reinforces past concepts from earlier units. Roleplay lesson, which I've already talked about. Another video call, and then finally, a unit review of everything you've learned thus far. In terms of the structure of this layout, I can't quite fault it for how it seeks to target every necessary component for learning a foreign language. In terms of its effectiveness, I would say it is genuinely great, with the main thing that could be improved being replacing the AI-generated stories and audio lessons with human-written ones so they'd actually be enjoyable. At the moment, both of these suffer from being formulaic, repetitive, and soulless, like most AI-generated nonsense. So overall, the structure is solid. It finally feels like Duolingo covers every angle of language learning: reading, listening, writing, comprehension. But until now, it has always missed the most important one: actually speaking, not just reading things out loud. In the past, that wasn't really Duolingo's fault. The technology simply wasn't there yet. You could read, listen, and translate all you wanted, but you couldn't really talk back. The ability to practice active recall, aka forming sentences from your brain in real time rather than just recognizing some or repeating them, is really the missing puzzle piece here for achieving fluency. Ironically, the same AI that's been making so much of the app feel lifeless is what finally makes it possible, which goes to show not all AI use is equal. Because with the video call feature, Duolingo has effectively built a space to practice conversation without any fear of making mistakes. But like anything, it all depends on how you use it. So here are my tips for getting the most out of your Duolingo video calls. It's useful at first to just chat with Lily to make sure that you can maintain a flowing conversation. But once you've established you can do that, you'll probably want to ensure that not only are you understood, but you are grammatically correct so you can improve. Duolingo gets a lot of negative press for not actually teaching grammar that well. Well, why not just ask Lily? I highly recommend you treat Lily as a one-to-one teacher. If you're unsure of a word or phrase, just end your prompt with the sentence in your target language for, how do you say XYZ? ¿Cómo se dice? Or, was my grammar correct in the previous sentence? ¿Fue mi gramática correcta en la anterior frase? Oh, frase anterior? Using these prompts really ensures you're not just speaking your target language, you're understanding it. In this video call with Lily, I wanted to practice speaking in hypotheticals, so I was asking what would happen if DaVinci Resolve did the same thing as Duolingo did and made the app worse to get more money from its users. Lily said, well, that'd be ridiculous, and then came up with some ideas on how the app could be made worse.
Uf, creo que sería una pesadilla para muchísima gente creativa. Imagínate que tuvieras solo 5 renders al día gratis, o que no pudieras exportar en HD sin pagar, o que pusieran anuncios antes de cada cambio de color en la página color. Sería ridículo.
Here's to hoping that no one at Blackmagic can speak Spanish. But as this response of mine required quite a lot of complex B2 level grammatical structures, I simply followed up with, the previous sentence was really hard for me and I tried using very difficult grammar. Can you please tell me if it was correct or no? And then she walked me through it.
Por supuesto. Me parece súper valiente que intentes usar estructuras más complejas. Usaste ¿y sí qué pasará si? Que suena raro porque ¿y sí? ¿Y qué pasará si? Son lo mismo. Hizo está en pasado, pero quieres algo en presente /diagonal sub.
Also, important to note, as of the filming of this video, no matter how often you say goodbye to Lily and that you really must go, Lily will continue pretending she has the free will to end the call indefinitely until you hit the right amount of XP or prompts. Just thought that was funny. If you feel like you often struggle with a specific grammatical concept like the conditional or past perfect, sentences like, if I had studied more, I would have been smarter by now. You can start your conversations with Lily, asking her to ensure the conversation helps you practice those concepts. This is as simple as saying, can you help me practice the conditional, for instance? If Lily talks with you on a topic that you find boring, just change the topic to something you find interesting. It's so much easier to learn a foreign language when it allows you to talk about things that you actually like. I've chatted with Lily about how much I'm enjoying the video game Hollow Knight Silksong. It's excellent. I chatted with her about my music video that we shot last week for the song I recorded. Yeah, that's coming soon. And I love chatting with her while I'm cooking. In fact, one of the best use cases for this video call feature, in my opinion, is when you habit stack with it. I don't like putting away dishes from the dishwasher, it's time consuming. Why not chat with Lily and practice my Spanish while doing so? Two birds, one stone. A lot of times when I start cooking dinner for the evening, I'll just open up a video call with Lily and have a chat with her while I cook. I'm reinforcing huge amounts of the language I know about different vegetables, spices, verbs about cooking and such, and it makes it so that I'm doing the necessary task of cooking a meal for myself, and I'm also strengthening my spoken Spanish. And you can do so sober or a little loosey-goosey. It's up to you. The main thing here is that you're actively speaking the language that you're trying to learn, which is arguably the whole reason you downloaded this app in the first place, right? To me, as you could tell from the way I'm speaking about this, it's very exciting. I imagine any of the higher-ups at Duolingo watching this video have gone through so much whiplash. Oh, that was very nice of him. That's very nice. Oh my God, he mentioned the $25 million house. Oh, that's very nice of him. Oh my God, what did he do to Lily? It's just, hey, that's how you know at least I'm not being paid, right? And with all that said, it raises the obvious question I always get asked. Can you get fluent using Duolingo? The common response online is no. It can be useful as a tool, but to achieve fluency, one would require many sources outside of Duolingo. The inherent flaw with this line of reasoning is it misunderstands the very premise. If anything, the answer should be similar to the question of, can this A1 to C2 language book get me fluent? Or can I get fluent by constantly watching movies in a foreign language? The answer to all of these is, well, maybe, yeah, I guess, with caveats, but there are surely more efficient methods. You see, we live in a time where fake polyglot grifters will confidently claim you can't get fluent using Duolingo, and then always recommend a language learning service that they get a kickback from. Huh. And because they've developed the ability to appear intelligent and appear successful with their grift, they can come off as quite convincing. And many modern audiences look past the glaring conflict of interest that is the numerous affiliate links to the solutions they're shilling. Because Duolingo can't work, these ones can. Thank you. I personally have nothing to sell you in this race. I can only speak from my own experience here. So if you ask me, Evan, can you get fluent using only Duolingo? Ooh, that is a different question. But at this point, my answer would inarguably be yes, depending on the tier of Duolingo you've signed up for and the language. For the past 5+ years of learning Spanish, I've deliberately chosen not to use any other language learning method except Duolingo. I've not read any books. I've not listened to any songs. I've not watched any movies, nor have I done much else. I have learned Spanish solely using the Duolingo app each and every day. And you may argue that, well, this is not really a very efficient method of learning a language. You'd be correct. But you can argue I can't speak Spanish, because I very much can. I'm conversationally fluent, I'm fluent, I can have conversations if I want, and it feels great, actually. On that note, though, I will say a big part of conversational fluency to me is confidence in speaking the language. You know, just going out and trying. It only takes a few successes to really feel like you can do it, and then you just start doing it and defaulting to that, which is really nice. And my German, yes, has definitely slipped quite a bit, and so I lost quite a bit of confidence in it because it's not as good as it used to be. But on my recent trip to Morocco, I ended up hanging out with a guy who spoke 7 languages, and English wasn't that great for him, but his German and his Spanish were much better. So I ended up having a 15-minute conversation with him in German, and if my German would falter, I switched to Spanish, and it was so exhilarating to have this conversation. Except for Heather, who didn't understand anything that was happening. But for me and this guy, incredible. So my German now, it is still not that great, but I can communicate, and at the end of the day, that is so exciting, and that's the whole reason I was learning language in the first place. I'm communicating in a foreign language I didn't grow up with, in a foreign country I'd never been to before, that German isn't even the default language. So, pretty cool. I do have a very big video in the works where I will be truly putting my Spanish to the test, and subscribing to my YouTube channel is the way to see that as soon as I release it. But something very important to note here is that I'm not quite done with the Duolingo course for Spanish yet. I am in the final big section for B2, so as with most things in life, I still have a lot to learn. Once I finish, I'll be creating a series of videos documenting the state of my fluency, as well as uncovering the pitfalls of relying solely on Duolingo for learning Spanish. Where is my Spanish strongest? And where is my Spanish weakest? Well, hopefully I'll be able to answer those questions for you in 2026. But despite the fact that I have rejected the countless number of brand deals coming into my inbox from other language learning apps, hoping I'd tell you that I use them to learn Spanish, I did, however, approve today's video sponsor, Squarespace. Well, you see, Squarespace's language is website creation, and Squarespace is your all-in-one website builder. Want to see what you can build with Squarespace? Well, check out my website, evanedinger.com. Using Squarespace's large assortment of professional-looking templates, I managed to give my website a nice-looking landing page with different pages for my photography portfolio, a little blog of the kit I use to make videos, and a web store with my LUTs and color grades for sale. All it took was an idea of what I wanted, and then building each page out the way I liked. It gives me a nice professional-looking website of my very own that Squarespace made very simple to create. So if you'd like to build your own website, blog, web store, or more, build it with Squarespace. Be sure to sign up at squarespace.com/EvanEdinger, where if you sign up using my link, you get 10% off. So thank you very much to Squarespace for sponsoring. Now, let me wrap this up. The more you put into learning, the more you get out. My current recommendation for getting the most out of Duolingo remains, as I'd said a few videos back, linked above. Try to make time to complete all the 3 daily challenges every day, and you'll be progressing through your target language at a healthy pace. Learning is not a race, but as long as you show up each and every day, you can rest assured knowing, well, you're at least a little smarter than the day before. And at the end of the day, that's really all you can really ask for. As always, I thank you for taking the time out of your day to watch my video, and hopefully I'll see you on my channel again next Sunday. Goodbye.